Kerry, who shot first and asked questions later?
We had a debate in Parliament on... I wasn't there, we didn't. But there was a debate in Parliament on Monday, I think, about the Syrian airstrikes. Theresa May claimed that she had to bypass Parliament because the military needs to act quickly and decisively. She wasn't fully clear why. Maybe there was a best before date on some of our missiles. But she says that she had to avoid a parliamentary debate because she didn't want to call MPs back from Easter recess. Fair enough. No one wants to see Boris Johnson on a chocolate cream egg downer. But they had a very fierce debate. And you don't need a soothsayer to know what Jeremy Corbyn's going to say about bombing the Middle East in cahoots with the USA. He's not going to want it, is he? So he said that Parliament needed to assert its authority over this UK military action. But his wrath is always a little bit meek. It always sort of has this sort of vibe of a supply teacher that's been locked in a glue cupboard. Like, let me out, guys! And then he said that she takes orders from the White House, but that's ridiculous because everyone, you know, Trump doesn't know anything about international politics. He thinks Syria is the voice-activated lady friend in his iPhone. Anyway, she said it was a humanitarian act, but the problem, it's very difficult to believe that because there's no evidence of her demonstrating humanitarian interest or compassion in any other context. She does seem in the main exasperated by humans.
But the trouble is with these situations is that if you say, well, that's not a very good idea, then the people who want to do it just to say, well, what's your alternative? And you think, that it's not incumbent, just because you're doing something really weird and stupid, it doesn't mean I've got to suggest another displacement activity to stop you from... Just don't do that thing. You could come into the kitchen in the middle of the night and find your partner ramming a spatula into themselves and say, what the hell are you doing? They say, well, what's your alternative? I don't know.
The whisk. What about the whisk?
Maybe the teaspoon. There'll be less bloodshed. I don't know. Or maybe just don't put any kitchenware in your bottom at all. Just a suggestion. Because the thing is, whenever we get involved in the Middle East, it just doesn't go very well.
No, we've got previous on it anyway.
We've got incredible previous. We deposed the democratic regime of Mossadegh in Iran in the mid-50s because he nationalised the Anglo-Iranian oil company, now BP. We installed the Shah. That went well. That provoked a revolution which was taken over by Islamists. That meant that the West had to build up Saddam Hussein to counter the threat from Iran. That meant that we then had to have a war with him. That meant that turned into a basket case which created ISIL. That spilled over into the whole of the Middle East, and now welcome to 2018. But really, it's the French to blame because they had Syria. It was one of theirs. Whereas after World War I, they got Syria and Lebanon, and we got Palestine, which we dealt with very well.